And then I also learned how to sort of practice, the kinks, I refer to them as little kinks where I'll play until there's a little kink somewhere and I'll figure out, okay, what was that little kink? It's this thing, it's this little pattern, and I would take that little pattern and work it in, just get it sorted out, then move on to another kink. Ooh, when I play a triplet, between this voice and this voice, there's a kink there. So I'd figure out all these little exercises, and I still do that to this day.
That's really interesting. That's the first time I've heard that in a lot of these interviews. So you're just playing. Now it's a kit, but this works with anything. Yeah. And you're just playing. You're playing, and then all of a sudden something goes, right? So if you're playing guitar, maybe you mess up a chord.
And I do it on guitar too, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was practicing guitar on the road as well. I had a guitar with me.
Right.
Same thing. It was like I'd figure out some little phrase, and I was like, I can't really play that fingering. So now I would just take that little spot in that fingering and just slow it way down and go and get the bugs out of it, And I remember one of the, not to switch gears too much on you, but Yngwie was also a big thing for me at that point on guitar. Because I was into Van Halen and all that stuff, and then there was Yngwie with the whole classical thing. So I would take, and we had like the little tape recorder thing that you could slow down.
Yeah.
Per YouTube, it's funny when you think about it now. But I would just take a little section, like a half step or like a half step and then a whole step in one of his, like a harmonic minor scale or something. And I would just take those 3 notes. And then I would practice all these different fingerings with those 3 notes. And then I would link it together to the next 3 notes in the phrase. And then I would just piece together all that stuff, and pretty soon I'd have an octave. And I'd go, now I can go down and do the same thing on the next octave.
Yeah.
A lot of those shapes, right, in that style of shredding, there's a shape. Right?
Yeah.
And you'll have 2 strings, and then you move it up, and then you got the octave. So it was kind of I applied the same sort of technique of the kinks, working out these little things.
Well, the kinks and also the methodology of break something down, do it really small, simple things and slow.
And if there was any lesson that I could give someone, the biggest lesson, they'd say, what is the biggest lesson that you can teach me or you can teach someone, you can share with? It's that. It's take small, tiny little increments of whatever it is and really internalize it at a slow tempo with dynamics, And then if you want to get really crazy, let's try and do it between different limbs and things, but basically really, really get inside that little teeny phrase. Because too many times we'll take way too much on and try and do all this stuff. We never really get it. So you just take those 2 little things, 2 notes together, maybe try fingers and really slow it way down, even slower than that.
Yeah.
No, slower than that. Because we do everything way too fast.
Yeah, because and the funny thing is, first of all, because we want to just achieve something quickly, but the problem is that you never get it, and it's always mediocre. So even if you get your way through the solo or the piece or the etude, you never really have it, and it'll never get good. But if you use your method where you break it down piece by piece slowly, you will get it, and it'll always be good.
Yeah.
Because you got it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems so, especially when you start, it's so counterintuitive to like, when I can actually kind of do it a little bit.
Yeah.
Just to slow that thing right down. But when you really slow it down and get it under your fingers or, wherever it is, and when you start speeding up, it's way cleaner and it's groovier. And then that applies to everything else too, because you've learned sort of that technique, for that little phrase. And you apply that little phrase to all the other big phrases or whatever it is in your playing. Just incorporate that thing into all your stuff. So yeah, I would say that is the most important thing to do, is slow little chunks.